I come from a large family who like to sing together. Now that doesn't mean we were necessarily good or stay on pitch, but there is safety in numbers. So we often like to sing on long road trips because we would car camp every summer, leaving from the Midwest in all the points of the compass. And I think in my growing up years, I went to more than 30 states. So I was very fortunate to have parents that bravely, or maybe, why not so smartly, packed 4 or 5 kids into our 66 Chevy station wagon and took off camping. Well, we often camped at state or national parks. And there were wonderful programs there in the evening put on by the rangers. Many of these parks had beautiful amphitheaters in the forest where there'd be backless benches and rows and rows and rows of them slightly curved inward. And then the ranger would come out in the evening. We would finish our meal and put away the Coleman stove and clean up so the critters wouldn't come looking at our campsite. And then we'd pack up our heavy-duty flashlights, and that's the only kind they had then, and the sit-upons that we would make and walk over from our campground to the amphitheater. And it was wonderful because there were people from all over the country, and we would wave to the other kids we'd played with that day and note, oh, that one's from Iowa, and this one's Colorado, and who else is on our list? We would try to meet people from each state. So I really enjoyed the ranger programs, and sometimes they would come out and speak about the birds in the area and maybe pass around feathers of the local critters. Well, my favorite, though, was the sing-alongs. It was so much fun to gather with hundreds of other campers and just sing our hearts out. And when we were growing up on the lake, we would gather around the beach bonfire and sing Home, Home on the Range, and Zippity-Doo-Dah, and all those favorites that everybody just seemed to know. We never had guitars or songbooks or anything. It was just in our DNA that we just knew how to sing these songs and knew all the words. So the evening in question, I was about 9 years old, and the ranger started leading us in song, and everybody knew these songs. We sang all kinds of good old campfire songs, and it amazed me as a young girl that all these people knew the words, not just our family. It just surprised me that it was just a universal singing thing. So he led us in song, and one of the songs was The Happy Wanderer. Do you remember that song? Yeah. Maybe not by title, but I love to go wandering along the mountain track. So we finished, and everybody likes the chorus, Val de Ree, Val de Ral, the ha-ha-ha-has, you know, that's fun for grown-ups and kids. Well, we finished the first verse, and then he kind of hesitated, and he thought, I'm not sure if I know the next verse. Does anybody know? And my little 9-year-old self that was pretty timid most of the time and didn't want to be on the spotlight, whether I was singing or speaking or even at my piano recitals, which I was pretty good at piano, but I just got nervous having to be up there alone. So something in me thought, these people need me. We have to sing more Val de Ree, Val de Raz, and no one else knows the words. I know. My 9-year-old skinny self and knobby knees and all stood up, and that wasn't good enough because we were 12 rows back, and all the grown-ups were sitting there, and they were blocking my view of the ranger. So I really wanted to be, they needed me. I needed to help. So not only did I stand up, I stood up on the bench, and I sang, I wave my hat to all I meet, and they wave back at me. The greenwood trees, the blackbirds sing so loud and sweet from every greenwood tree. And I finished, and I wasn't trying to Ethel Merman it. I was just singing out loud so he could hear my 9-year-old voice way up front. And as I finished, though, I started realizing people had turned around to watch. They were looking at me, and they were smiling and nodding, and I thought, wait a minute, they're looking at me. What am I doing? I got my quivering knees down, I sat down, and I huddled up to my mom, and I'm like, no, they're looking at me. I was just traumatized by the experience. What had I done? But they applauded, and then we moved on and sang Val de Ree again. So, was that my swan song? Have I ever sung again? Well, yes, I do sing. I enjoy singing, and I even sing Val de Ree, Val de Ra, but never again as a solo. So, join me now. Val de Ree, Val Valerie, 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 Valerie.